the season of evil.
Hey up, it's Steve from that old Yorkshire geek, and a bit of news in fitting with the spooky season, because it's about Peter Cushing. Deadline's reporting that Peter Cushing has become the latest icon to be given the AI resurrection in Skyhammer Films' documentary. Remember, it's not the first time that's happened to him, but we'll get into that. But before we start, don't forget, like and subscribe, share the videos and drop a comment, hit the notification bell if you're subscribed already, but subscribe. If you're not subscribed already, hit the subscribe button, because we're inching closer to that 1,000 subscribers thing, which would be nice, wouldn't it? But anyway, you don't get any recognition or anything for it. You don't even get I'm sure in the old days, YouTube used to give out the plaques, things, whatever they call them, for like 1,000 subscribers. I'm sure they did. Don't anymore. You've got to get to 100,000 before you get one. Unbelievable. No chance. Anyway, right, so let's have a read of this article, shall we? I've got to mention the links in the description. It says down there. Links in description for various things, such as all that, Facebook, X, Instagram, and all them other places. And also Patreon and merch and stuff like that. So there we go. Right, so let's have a read of this article. So I will move myself down into the corner. Right, that took some doing, didn't it? Well, it did for me. You don't notice anything. I've just appeared there, but for some reason it took me ages to get this done. Whatever. Right, so here's the article from Deadline. Go away, hide articles. There we go. Max Goldbart reporting. Peter Cushing becomes latest icon to be given AI resurrection in Skyhammer Films doc. Because it's Deadline. They've got these always shorten things, don't they? And there he is in his heyday, probably as Baron Frankenstein, I imagine. Right, exclusive, they're saying. Fans of Peter Cushing are in for a Halloween treat with the iconic Frankenstein star, the latest to be resurrected by artificial intelligence. In Hammer, Heroes, Legends and Monsters, a Sky documentary airing in 2 days' time. When's this article out? What day is it today? Oh, it's out today, so it's out for Halloween, isn't it? Viewers will be treated to a powerful and poignant reveal of Hammer royalty, Sky said, with what is being described as a special homage, or is it an homage, whatever, to Cushing. Cushing, who died in 1994, played Dr. Van Helsing, wasn't he Professor Van Helsing? Beautiful professor. In 5 Dracula films and Baron Frankenstein in 6 movies from that franchise. Obviously, as Van Helsing, he was a good guy. As Baron Frankenstein, he was definitely a baddie. So he could do both, could Peter Cushing. Who'll be the latest celebrity given the AI resurrection treatment. Yesterday, the documentary's producers, Deep Fusion Films, unveiled a world-first podcast hosted by a replica of the late chat show presenter, Michael Parkinson. And there's Michael Parkinson. If you wonder who Michael Parkinson is, he was a chat show host in the UK, from Barnsley. So he had a bit of a northern accent, but he had kind of a posh Yorkshire accent. I think he tried to put it on a bit, not like me. Anyway, narrated by Charles Dance, the doc is celebrating Hammer Films' 90th birthday and will track its progression from a back office in London's Regent Street to its iconic status within the horror film genre. We first revealed news of the documentary in August, and there's a link if you want to follow that link. Link for this, by the way, is in the description. This isn't the first time Cushing has been resurrected. His likeness was revived as Grand Moff Tarkin for 2016's Rogue One, a Star Wars story, a.k.a. Rogue One. And a High Court legal battle over the use of the image was recently ruled by a judge to go to trial. Some friend of Peter Cushing claims that he had an agreement with Peter Cushing and his estate or whatever, that they had to get permission from him to use Peter Cushing's likeness, and they didn't, did Disney, apparently. But they got permission from Peter Cushing's estate, but not from this other bloke. He must have documentation or something to back it up, if a judge has ruled that it can go to trial. Anyway, and it looked okay in Rogue One. It wasn't the best, it didn't look amazing, it didn't look exactly like Peter Cushing. But for the time, it was pretty good. I didn't mind it. I think they overused it a bit. I think they should have kept him in the shadows a little bit, hidden him, stuck to him being like reflections, just see the back of his head and stuff like that. But anyway, Anyway, I suppose they couldn't because they were like a integral part of the film, weren't they? So they couldn't just keep hiding him, could they? It seemed weird. Anyway, Ben Field, who runs Deep Fusion, said the Hammer documentary Resurrection has secured all necessary permissions, presumably also from this bloke. The decision to resurrect Cushing is tied to his significance to the Hammer legacy, he added. As a figure central to Hammer's success, Cushing's presence is crucial to telling the story authentically, he added. His work, particularly alongside Christopher Lee, was instrumental in shaping the brand and legacy of Hammer films. And he not only worked with Christopher Lee on Hammer films, he also worked with him in other films as well, such as in like Horror Express and The Creeping Flesh and stuff like that, which weren't Hammer films. Anyway, including him allows the project to honour the spirit and impact he had on the studio and its fans, creating a connection between the past and this new exploration. The use of deepfake technology has been approached with great care, Field added. The team's intent is not to manipulate or sensationalise, but to use technology as a tool to bring audiences closer to the history of Hammer films in an engaging and reverent manner. I wonder if they're using the deepfake audio. I can't remember what it's called, but there's like an audio version of deepfake in it where they can recreate somebody's voice. I wonder if they're going to do that. Because the fella that did him in Rogue One, I can't remember the actor's name, he was kind of doing an impression of Peter Cushing-ish. And while it were okay, it didn't sound a lot like Peter Cushing, did it? But when all's said and done. Peter Cushing rolled his R's on there. Peter Cushing had been good in Rings of Power, wouldn't he? Because he rolls his R's like bloody hell. And they did in that. But I can't roll my R's at all because I've got, it's called ankyloglossia. I've got a little flap of skin that holds my tongue down. So, because I'm a mutant, essentially. So I can't roll my R's. It don't work for me. Anyway. I've got to get a mouthful of spit to roll my R's. Anyway, I'm going on, aren't I? Hammer Heroes, Legends and Monsters will follow other influential figures from the horror genre, such as Lee, Christopher Lee, Tim Burton, John Carpenter, Joe Dante and John Logan will also feature. John Logan, fair enough, Tim Burton, John Carpenter, Joe Dante, but John Logan. Fair enough, John Logan he's written some cool films, some Star Trek films as well, or a Star Trek film. I think he's done. Did he do Last Samurai as well? He's done quite a lot of films with John Logan, but just a weird name to be thrown in with all these other horror giants. I don't know what horror films he's done. I will have to look him up. Anyway, those will also feature. Through a series of fateful turns, the film will reveal how Hammer's distinct... Well, this is a different John Logan. I don't know. How Hammer's distinct visual style and storytelling continue to shape modern horror and inspire filmmakers... What is the matter with me today? Inspire filmmakers around the world. The documentary will be given a limited theatrical run and launch on Sky Arts on Halloween. So I'm going to have to check my TV box thing and get that recorded. Last week we revealed Kaleidoscope Film Distribution had secured global rights. So there we go. 2 comments. Who commented on it? Yes, he kind of already did in Rogue One. Rouge One, yes. But with no rouge on. So there we go. I look forward to that because I'm a Hammer fan. I love the Hammer films for the most part. We've covered a few Hammer films in my Friday Night Appointment with Fear. They were a great studio, and they could be again, but they seem to be dragging the heels in doing new stuff. They came back with a bang with films like Let Me In and The Woman in Black, and there was that Irish one, which I've forgotten what they called it, Wakewood, that one. And then they kind of dropped off again. And they did a recent one with Eddie Izzard, like a Dr. Jekyll take on Dr. Jekyll, which I've not seen, but I've heard is rubbish. Anyway, hopefully they'll do some more good stuff. Obviously, it's not the original people running it. It's I think it kind of got bought out by somebody else, and they're just trying to continue the Hammer heritage. Anyway. But if you haven't seen any Hammer films, go and watch, the Hammer Draculas and the Hammer Frankensteins, the Hammer Mummy films. Because in the 50s, they started bringing full colour and blood and stuff like that. Then in the 60s, moved into a bit more science fiction-y type stuff. Kind of with stuff like Quatermass and the Pit and films like that. In the 70s, they became famous for their nudity and stuff like that, as censorship relaxed, and they could lots of heaving bosoms and stuff like that in the 70s. It was amazing. There we go. So that's Hammer in a nutshell. Well, I look forward to that on Halloween, and we'll seek it out on my TV guide and press the record option. Right, we'll leave that there. Look forward to that. So, thanks for watching, wherever you are. Look after each other, and until next time, I'll see you there.